Okay, welcome to tonight's show. You're with Tom, Brian and Steve on NRL from the Sidelines, brought to you by Rock Australia Radio. Are you guys looking at the camera?
I was just telling
Say that again, brought to you by
Rock Australia Radio.
There you go.
Ta-da! We should have some music, fanfare.
Well,
yeah,
fireworks
working
going
on
up
that.
behind us.
Working on that, yeah.
Tom, how are you tonight?
I am good.
I'm glad you are good.
Good.
Okay, it's going to be a slow night tonight. Sorry about that. Brian, you're looking very, very splendid in your tie, and
Yes, this is me at work. Sorry, guys.
but you're not at work anymore.
No,
You're at your real job now.
I'm at my real job. This is my real job? Wow, I wish.
Oh, you
If
make-
everybody out there, Steve, gets about 50 people to listen, I think this could be my real job.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
that's true.
I've told you 1,000 times, we'll triple your salary.
Yeah.
Hey, you got the figures I sent you this week?
Yes.
Yes?
We have topped 60 viewers.
Well, we got 71 at one point.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the first one. We
Yeah.
sort of went downhill from the
So-
first one.
So we really should be saying thank you.
So now we're heading for the 100, okay? So
Wow.
tell your friends.
Yes.
We want 100 listeners and viewers.
All of you. And share it on Facebook, because you can see us
Absolutely.
on NRL from the Sidelines.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, let's start talking about round 4. And the upsets results just keep on happening.
don't
1300 Smiles Stadium, North Queensland and the Penrith Panthers. Penrith winning 33-14. Brian,
Wow.
did you see that coming?
No. Did I see that coming? No, and they did it without Cleary.
And
Let's face it, the Panthers did it without their best player, and the Cowboys, I said last week on the show, Michael Morgan, 1 week back, they'll go great.
You did well that one, yes.
I did well, yeah.
Well, I think it says a lot about James Maloney. I mean, he had a superb game, but it says a lot about his ability and was he being utilised to his best when Cleary is there? And is this going to be a problem when Cleary comes back? Will that stifle him? Because he was superb. He just took hold of the game, and he was brilliant. Brilliant.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, look, it was just fantastic. It was good to see. I feel for the Cowboys, everybody's pre-season favourites, and they've just fallen apart. And let's face it, realistically, they're going to play next week in New Zealand against an unbeaten team. They could theoretically be 1 from 5.
Yes.
Wow.
And yeah. And look, I mean, I think Thurston is
what's
not
wrong?
at his best.
You think it's him? You think it's Morgan? I mean,
Tamalolo's numbers are down.
That Morgan and Thurston are now clashing because they're each trying to be the number one.
Actually, I was actually going to mention that a little bit later on. It's interesting that the only team at the moment with 2 solid halves is the Dragons.
Yep.
The only team doing well with 2 solid halves is the Dragons. Everyone else has a minor and a major player in the halves.
Yeah.
Well,
The Roosters are doing okay when they're on.
but when you're on, that's the point.
That's the thing. Yeah.
So every club seems to be struggling with the good halves, and the clubs with only 1 are appearing to do well, apart from the Dragons. So interesting point.
So, gentlemen, we
Couldn't say
move
so.
on to ANZ Stadium on Good Friday. South Sydney Rabbitohs against the Canterbury Bulldogs. Rabbitohs winning 20-16, 2 tries in the last 6 minutes.
Lucky the ref was on your side, Steve.
Oh, what are you talking about? Would you like to clarify that statement, please, for all these people who start to think you're a buffhead before they actually know you?
No. Seriously, if that had happened, if
what had happened?
If what had happened with Josh Jackson had happened to Souths, you would be fuming.
Excuse me, who was the first person that was in the defensive line tackling the player with the ball? It was Josh Jackson right there.
Have you ever played football, Steve?
Yes, I did.
Right, well, I'd like to know, did you ever tackle anyone? Because Greg Inglis is a big unit. Josh Jackson, no matter how good he is not going to be able to take someone like that on.
Greg Inglis,
off balance and out of the line, running across.
Greg Inglis still got through 3 players before he scored the try.
He wouldn't have got through Josh Jackson if he was set.
But in principle,
and you know what?
it was a
All
bad
they had
mistake.
to do was move out.
That's not the way it works.
But in
NRL.
principle, Cummins apologised. and he had every right to. And you can't go back and undo the try.
Okay, can everyone go to Facebook, please, NRL from the Sidelines, and tell them I'm right?
I'm not going to get to actually.
No, you're not going to say anything. Yeah, no. The referee did apologise. Look, that was a bad call. It was a bad read by the ref. But in saying that, though,
I'm sorry, it wasn't the difference in the game, though.
4 points.
4 points, and you only won by 4 points.
Well, there you go.
Sorry, hang on. Let me think. How does that logic work?
If they could have kicked a field goal, they would have won then. So they could have kicked a field goal, so that lost them the game.
Please. What do you think of the game, by the way, Steve?
I thought it was an excellent game. I thought there was a lot of penalties, sadly, which we are going to talk about later. But I was quite impressed. I thought both teams played extremely well.
Adam Dwayhe's still playing very well. I mean, he won't be there next week.
No,
but,
well, he's actually been named in the team, but he's on the bench.
In the 17, yeah.
No, he's acquitted himself well.
No, absolutely.
Why, the Roosters want him now, do they?
No.
I'm sure they do.
Trust me, they do. We're already pillaging your team.
Yeah, they'll throw another $1 million at him and still be under the salary cap.
Did you see there was a April Fool's thing the other day on Zero Tackle, and it said Sonny Bill Williams leaves rugby urgently and joins the Roosters. And I tapped on and went, we haven't got any money for that.
We don't have any money for that.
We don't.
Famous last words from a rooster.
Yeah.
There's a bottomless pit there somewhere.
Go on NRL from the Sidelines and tell us if we cheat.
Listen,
okay?
Be careful.
No, excuse me.
Everybody will.
So where is the evidence? We know where the evidence actually is at the moment. So
where? So you do know there's evidence. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying, there's already proven cheating going on.
Anyway, let's talk about the game. Like,
so
you're too busy trying to slander me. No, Steve, I just want to know, where did you guys win it?
In the last 6 minutes. South, I don't know what it was, but for the first 50 or 60 minutes, South kept going sideline to sideline.
Yep.
There wasn't a lot of go forward. The last 6 minutes, they started going forward and broke through.
Yep.
That's where, I honestly didn't think we were going to win. At 20-6 down, I didn't think we were going to win. Or 28 down, whatever it was.
There's a difference on the ladder between the Rabbitohs and the Bulldogs, but I think at the moment, I think I see them as very similar teams in terms of where they're at in the season.
I think Souths have their measure. I think you're right. I think they're very similar, but I think Souths have their measure.
I think they're inconsistent at the moment. I think they're still finding their feet.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 new coaches, new clubs playing to the new styles. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to Southern Cross Group Stadium. Cronulla Sharks against Melbourne Storm. Cronulla winning 14-4.
What was your highlight of the match? I know what mine was.
Yeah, yours was Mr. Cameron Smith.
Mr. Cameron Smith.
It was to do with Cameron Smith. Yes, that's right.
So tell us all about it. In case they didn't see.
Yeah. So.
Okay, that's enough.
Cam Smith got sin binned.
Yes,
That's the first time in his career.
Wow.
And the interesting thing was, arguably the greatest statistically player of all time, and Australia's captain, Queensland's captain, Melbourne's captain, and everybody to a man at Shark Park stood and applauded him being sin binned and taken off, and gave him a royal serve. And it was special.
For the record, he was sin binned for dissent. So
I think it was a domino effect. I think it was just for dissent. I mean, he'd already been pinged.
Officially, it was dissent.
Yeah.
Can anyone tell me when the last time was that Melbourne never scored a try in a game?
Nope.
No.
It's got to be a long time.
They've got some woes at the moment, haven't they?
They do.
Well, there was only one try in the whole game. Look how many penalties there were.
That's right.
How many penalty kicks there were.
Let's face it.
We can leave that. Yeah.
Did Cronulla score a try against Parramatta? Oh, they scored one against Parramatta, didn't they?
Yeah.
So there's...
honestly, North Queensland, Cronulla, Melbourne, there seems to be big problems. In fact,
Absolutely.
Put Parramatta into that. I think if I'm right, they might be the top 4 from last year.
Yep.
All of them are struggling.
Yep.
Every single one of those teams is struggling. So it's quite interesting.
It's turning into rugby union. Yeah, it's a penalty-a-thon.
No.
Penalty kick-a-thon.
Go there.
No.
My highlight of the match, though...
Yes, go on.
...was Luke Lewis getting sin binned.
Oh.
Oh, hang on. That was because Billy Slater took a dive. Sorry, my mistake.
The comments of Brian McCall do not necessarily reflect the philosophy of NRL from the sidelines. So please go to the website and make your comment.
He did take a dive.
And the solicitors are just sitting out there.
Luke Lewis was made a tackle, was penalised for the tackle. While he was demonstrating with the referee what is going on, holding his hands up, Billy Slater took the ball and brushed past him. This is not soccer. Okay. You know who should have been sin binned? Billy Slater, because that was the worst dive I've seen in 10 years.
Okay, so if this was Cricket Australia, he'd be out for 12 months?
And he should be. Don't bring the cricket into it. I'm very vocal about that too.
But it's only cricket.
But again, you know what annoyed me? Like that was pretty bad. Like you got to admit, having a player take a dive in rugby league is.
But Billy Slater's not the only one to have
ever done. But it is not a good look, is it?
No, you're right.
Again, the commentators on Fox. Oh, what clever play by Billy! Aware of everything. What do you do? Seriously, I know they're in love with the bloke, and I know that I don't have a lot of love there. But
no, you don't.
But that was a bad call.
Just a little bit of love.
No, there's no love.
He's got nothing.
I thought
out of 1 to 100, how much you call your love?
No,
-3.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I don't know. I didn't like that as a look for the game either. I thought that was pretty bad.
Okay.
Well, so was there any quality in the game?
I don't think so. No.
No.
Truly, I don't believe there was.
No, neither of those teams are playing very.
Both of those teams
football.
would have been beaten by most other teams this weekend.
And the club, and they didn't get an opportunity to play very well either, given the circumstances, which we will talk about later.
Okay.
We should talk about it now. We've had 3 games and you've mentioned it 3 times.
I haven't mentioned anything.
Trust me, it's going to be mentioned another 4. Yeah. Let's move on to Allianz Stadium, where the Sydney Roosters played the Warriors, and the Warriors won 30-6. Tom,
yes, I went to the game.
What's wrong with the Roosters right now?
Oh, look, first of all, it's 1 week, okay? We had a great week last week.
4 weeks and you've lost 2 games.
Yes. And despite what the coach said, the amount of time that Keary and Cronk and Tedesco have spent together is minimal.
Yes.
In the off season because of a World Cup and breaking his jaw, etc. So it's going to take a while for them to gel. Last week they had an exceptionally good game where everything seemed to click, and I suppose we all all the Roosters fans had an expectation. Right, we'll go. And 3 minutes into the game, we scored a superb try out of the hands, and I thought, you beauty, more of the same from last week. And then they went back to their old dropping the ball and not completing sets, and the Warriors have been disciplined enough and resolved enough to pounce on that. And so, all credit to the Warriors. I thought they were exceptionally good.
But there's a couple of things here you need to consider, and I agree with you. No team is going to win every single game. Sure, it doesn't matter who they've got in the team. They are going to lose. But you didn't just lose it. You got done 30-6.
Yes.
So there's a problem with your attack and there's a problem with your defence, and it's not just the combinations that are causing that.
Well, for 3 weeks, our defence has been exceptional. We gave away 4 tries in 3 games. This week was a particularly bad week. We just couldn't get hold of the ball. If you can't hold the ball, you can't win a game. We had 54% possession, which is just woeful. Yep. So I just say to myself, Warriors were a far better team on the day.
Hang on, you might want to rephrase that. You had 54% possession.
I'm pretty not possession. Sorry, completion. Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
I was going to say because I'd take 54% possession every day.
38% possession. So you're not holding the ball. We're not completing sets. So
and that's
this is not an unexpected. Sorry,
that's not combinations.
No.
No, you're right. And it's been a constant problem in the last couple of years with the Roosters is they don't complete.
Can we write that down? That he said I'm right. Do you think we should?
Yeah, no, it's on.
It's recorded. That's right. It's too.
No, so look, I was very disappointed. I sat there shaking my head. Reece Robinson dropped about 18,000 balls. He was terrible on the night. Every opportunity we had just seemed to get blown.
Let's face it. The Warriors scored 30 points without their best player. Let's move on.
And they're getting Mannering and Sean Johnson back next week. So look,
they were impressive.
Yeah, they were.
Isaac Luke was excellent.
Yep, I'll give them credit.
Blake Green is absolutely on fire.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, they've
he kicked 140-20 and nearly kicked another one. in the game. So look, we were beaten by a far better team on the night. The desire wasn't there, as Trent Robbins said. Didn't respect the ball. I don't know what that actually means, but
Well, they dropped too much.
yeah. So yeah. Look, I'm saying blot it out, go back to the drawing board and start again. And I don't think we'll be that bad again this week.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Lotto Land, where the Manly Sea Eagles played the Canberra Raiders, and Sea Eagles won 32-16. Brian, I must admit, at one point when you were so far ahead, and then the Raiders came back at you, I thought you could be in a little bit of trouble, but they hang on.
Yeah. We played for one half of football and still only managed to win by 18 points. I don't know.
16. It's okay.
Maths isn't my strong point.
That's why he follows cricket.
Yeah, look, I'm a little bit surprised. It's been more than 12 months now since we've lost at Brookvale, so the Fortress is back, and we've had 2 really good wins. Well, 3 good halves of football, but something happened in that second half. I know there were a lot of injuries. Actually, that will test my team's depth with the injuries that have occurred this week. The Raiders were off, despite scoring the first try. I don't know what to make of them.
Well, they had a mini comeback by the looks of it in the 50th to the 60th minute.
Yeah.
And I actually looked at that. I saw that part of the game and I thought, they might come back here. They might just lift enough to get back into the game. But then you just turned it around at 63rd minute, Matthew Wright scored.
Yeah. It was, tell you what, it was difficult to see as a Manly fan having 2 back rowers and your fullback limp off the field. Tom stayed to the end of the game. He was obviously injured. Yeah.
How long have you lost him for?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
He's well, and maybe that he's tall and rangy, but he gets injured a lot.
Yeah, actually,
the tall players seem to. I mean, you look at Greg Inglis, look at Tedesco.
Well, there's long levers to get.
Josh Dugan
3 or 4 times a game he gets injured.
Look, no, it was good. I'm happy. I'm happy for the win. Particularly after last week's effort. I thought the effort and intensity was there.
What happened last week again?
That doesn't matter, they lost.
South smashed them, but that's okay. We can talk about that
just
again.
Couldn't remember. My memory's terrible.
They took their foot off in the second half, and the Raiders nearly come to get them.
Yeah. So what's wrong with the Raiders?
Well, interestingly, for the first time, I tell you what's wrong with the Raiders. Ricky Stewart's wrong with the Raiders.
Okay, so again, lawyers are just outside.
Because they have not picked a consistent 1, 6, 7, 9 any match this season.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and Tom was talking earlier about Keary and what's your halfback? Oh, the Australian halfback, yeah. Cooper Cronk, and Tedesco.
Yeah.
A little bit, they're clunky, they're not working well together.
Yeah.
Because of the game time, these guys haven't played a game. And this week, interestingly, Blake Austin's been dropped. So,
there's more to it than that.
Did you see the press conference?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting that the last 3 weeks, Ricky Stewart has been making excuses for his players,
blaming the referees,
blaming everybody else but the players, and making excuses. Got a bunch out there. They're just devastated. Well, he said this week, they're soft. I think I've been too soft on them.
Yep.
And they said, are you going to drop any players, Ricky? And he said, no, not one. He said, they're going to get out on that panic and show that they deserve to be in a jersey. And I thought, hallelujah, that's exactly what he should be saying.
Yep.
Because it's time that he gave them some responsibility and take some ownership.
Well, he said soft 18 times in the interview.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. So he was very unimpressed.
And so that could be a good thing for them,
We'll move on to WIN Stadium, where St George Illawarra played Newcastle Knights. St George winning 30-12, and the Dragons keep rolling on.
They do.
Wow.
And they seem to be getting more impressive.
And they don't look like they're going to wane. They don't look like they're going to,
No, they're not going to fold anytime soon. Well, they might this weekend, but we'll talk about that later as well.
86% completion. Wow.
They
Roosters can't get that in 3 games.
I don't know. They're good. They're impressive.
How much money you spend?
You know what? I know that you're saying that the Warriors are an impressive team. I still think they're a bit all over the place. The Dragons, looking at the way they're playing and their style, they go left to right very easily. They play what's in front of them. There doesn't seem to be any conflict with Widdop and Hunt and the halves. Their forward pack is, phenomenal. I mean, who wouldn't you take in their forward pack? Every single one of them would find a spot somewhere else in another club.
Without doubt.
Their backs are big and strong.
Yeah.
Their only weakness, if it's a weakness, is their fullback.
Really?
I say that because he's a smaller bloke, and there's been a couple of times where he's been pushed back into the in goal or pushed over the sideline. But as soon as he learns, as Tupo needs to do,
you can catch him.
If he just gets down low on those tackles, but he's always trying to bust the tackle. The advantage is he busts the tackle.
Yeah. 2 games I'm looking forward to seeing this season is Dragons versus Warriors, and interestingly, Dragons versus Tigers. I actually think both of those will be really good games.
I think the Tigers I think the Dragons will do the same thing they did to the Knights.
Well, maybe they will, but I'll be interested to see how they go against those 2 teams, because I think that's going to be. I think those. Well, at least the Dragons and the Warriors, I think, are going to be up there.
Thankfully, I had the Dragons in my top 8 at the start of the year, unlike some.
I don't think I did.
No, I don't think you did, Steve.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I've still got my recording.
Yes, I did. No. So what do you think of the Knights? They seem to be struggling a bit. I mean, they're still playing well. I don't think they're playing poorly at all.
Nathan Brown came up with a good comment where he said games are going to get tougher from here on in because clubs now have seen what we can offer, what we can do, and they're not coming to us now thinking, oh, we're going to have a win. They're coming to us now thinking, how can we win? And so that's going to make things more difficult for the Knights. And I think that was probably a good call. I always thought they were going to start a little bit slower than they have. They've done well. I think they're going to come back to the pack a little bit. But they're playing good football.
Yeah. So let's have a look at the 4th upset of the round. And honestly, have you guys been able to tip more than 3 this week?
I got 4.
You got 4.
Yeah.
Well done.
On this show last week, I had the Titans. And I chickened out.
I listened to that show. I listened to the show the other day, and I heard you say you were going to go for the Titans.
Oh, I chickened out at the last minute. I had the Titans, and then it got to...
He's full of bluster in the show.
Oh.
The reality is somewhat different.
So what you're saying is what he says on air is not what he actually does.
Yeah, so...
I chickened out, okay?
So whatever his tips are, if you're interested, just do the complete opposite. Because that's what he's going to do.
Suncorp Stadium, Brisbane Broncos against Gold Coast Titans. Titans win 26-14. And I've got to tell you, gentlemen, the Broncos never even looked like they were going to win.
No.
Nope.
They didn't even seem to want to be there.
Halves are in disarray.
Yeah, the whole team seems to be in disarray.
Yeah, they're making fundamental errors that they're just un-Broncos.
Well,
they
no,
really
but
are.
Think about this. And this was discussed, I think, on Fox last night. They lost to the Titans. They probably should have lost to the Tigers.
Yep.
They had another close game 2 weeks ago. They are not the team that you would expect, considering their players. No, they've still got some decent players. I know they've lost a few.
They're lucky to be in 10th position.
I disagree, and I keep saying this. Like we just said, the Dragons forward pack. Who would you not take at your club? Sorry, mosquito. No, I wasn't trying to slap you then, Tom.
Wouldn't be the first time.
You look at the Broncos team, and I don't like it. There's no standouts. There's no one there who
you've got Boyd.
Or they're getting tired. Are they getting old?
I don't know. I mean, Matt Gillette would be the exception.
Well, Matt Gillette. You've got Boyd. You've got Roberts. You've got Nicarima.
I wouldn't touch any of them.
Milford.
Really? You wouldn't have Roberts or Boyd?
No. No. I would have, of that team, if Matt Gillette was up for a contract, I would want my club to chase him. Anyone else, not interested.
Interesting. And considering the Titans last week were smashed by the Dragons, come out and played well this week.
They did. They did.
Well, I think it was important for their season.
54-8 last week.
It was important for their season to keep being competitive because otherwise they're going to lose heart.
Ash Taylor got his mojo back.
He did. He was terrific, wasn't he? And you know what I liked best about that game was the last 10 minutes he controlled the game.
Yeah.
He kept kicking to the sideline. I felt like they were a bit in defensive mode, like they were trying to protect their lead, but he just managed the game to perfection.
Absolutely.
Real maturity.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a solid player.
All right, let's move on. ANZ Stadium, West Tigers against Parramatta Eels. Tigers winning 30-20. I must admit, I picked the Tigers But after the first few minutes, I thought, oh, geez, I think Parramatta are going to win this one, and then they fell apart. And then they just died. And I, honestly, again, what's wrong with Parramatta?
Well, they look like they were trying. It looked like they were having a go. There was a period in there where I thought they started to have a go. It was all too little, too late. One thing I really noticed was Tony Williams. He played some really good footy.
When he wants to.
Well, of course, yeah. I mean, we know that, but the point is that he hasn't shown that for an awfully long time. Didn't at the Dogs for 5 years. Didn't get much of an opportunity at the Sharks, but he handed off a really nice ball that led to a try, and that's what they need him to do. You know, he needs to get into the line. He needs to get into the line and make a space.
But I've got to say, how impressive are the Tigers?
Yeah,
they found their attacking mojo this week.
Yeah, it's all been defence the last.
Not at the
weeks.
expense of their defence.
Yeah,
well,
they had 20 points.
Well, but that was late in the game, you know, and I think they'll be disappointed by that. But they'd had the game won.
You know, if you're but in saying that, you look at this game, you're a Parramatta supporter. You can at least say we lost by a try. I mean, it's not like they were blown off. They actually hung in this week.
Yeah.
The Tigers. Luke Brooks was exceptional as well. I think Luke Brooks perhaps showed a little bit of the skill and the class that he does have.
Yeah.
You got to remember, Luke Brooks is only 23.
Oh, I know.
He's been playing first grade and directing that team around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think he really stepped up. He's loving having Benji on the outside of him.
And hasn't Benji been
well, is
good?
he playing?
Hey, look, Benji was going great last year at the Broncos.
Yeah.
You know, like he was playing really well at the Broncos.
Yeah. I don't think there's any rugby league fan in the whole gamut of the game who wouldn't be happy for Benji Marshall doing well.
I don't know, it depends on when he plays Manly.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Gentlemen, let's move on now. I want to...
We're going to do the ladder.
All right. Tom,
I want to do the ladder.
Tom, do the ladder.
I did the ladder last week, I think.
Go on, Tom, do the ladder.
Okay, all right. But there's no funny names in it. That's usually my job, doing the weird names. The fire-breathing dragons.
Fire-breathing
Still
dragons.
fire-breathing after 4 rounds, undefeated.
Yeah, but it's only 4 rounds.
Undefeated at top spot. Closely followed by the Warriors, only by 4 and against. But followed by 4 and against. The Warriors have got half as many 4 and against points. Panthers in 3rd. West Tigers continue their good run in 4th. Sea Eagles, don't know how they're there with 2 wins and 2 losses, but I think that was the big shellacking they gave to Parramatta, which is getting whittled away, by the way.
Would you hurry it up?
Storm in 6th. Mighty Roosters in 7th.
Don't know how they're there.
That other team from the other side of Sydney.
Be polite.
Rabbitohs in 8th position. The Sharks in 9. Broncos in 10. Titans 11. Knights in 12. Cowboys in 13th. Bulldogs in 14th. And winless Raiders and the Eels bringing up the rear.
I heard a very interesting comment today on the way home. Gee, these guys play each other in round 7. If they could stay winless for that long, wouldn't that be a match?
No, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, well, at some point in time they're going to play each other and somebody's going to have to win.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, gentlemen, I want to bring up, this is our questions without notice time, but I'm sure you know what I'm going to talk about, and that's the referees and it's about the penalties they're giving.
Yeah, about time.
And I'm going to say I agree with you. I think, yes, I know, and again,
Wow.
it's recorded. I think I agreed with you last week as well, didn't I?
But sometimes you're an intelligent man.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes you're agreeable. I like the fact that the refs are holding a hard line in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you why. We always said that the competition is so close that it's balanced. And that's why we have upsets all the time.
Yes.
You still have your few teams that lead the pack, but generally it's balanced. This is making it even more so. I think this is one of the reasons why we're having so many upsets, because teams like, and we've all said it before, Melbourne, North Queensland, those favoured teams tend to get favoured when it comes to penalties as well.
Yep.
Now
Especially
they're
on
not.
their line.
Well,
Yeah, that's right.
in saying that, I actually think that's what's wrong with Melbourne. Everybody's going, "Oh, Cooper Cronk's not there, and that's really hurting them." That is a bloody good team on paper.
Yes, it is. It's very.
But you know what's happening this year that hasn't happened in the last 10 years? They're getting penalised.
Yeah.
They're actually being treated the same as the other teams.
Yeah.
And and I posted it when somebody was talking about penalties on our Facebook side, NRL from the sidelines.
Nice plug.
Paul Gallen made the comment that, they were penalising as if we were half a metre offside. Well, here's a simple solution. Don't
offside.
stand half a metre offside.
Exactly.
That's the take on it.
Yeah.
And I tell you, that there are people getting frustrated. I'm frustrated with lack of penalties. I love free-flowing football.
Yeah.
But if the players aren't getting it, tough. We have to keep having more penalties.
Wayne Bennett has come out in support of it. Craig Bellamy has come out in support of it. The number of coaches have.
Yep.
It is more the commentators who aren't in support of it.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if you want to get the game under control, if you want to control those particular areas, to play the ball, which we've all screamed about for years, and that 10-metre rule, which we've all screamed about for years, you have to do it.
Well, and Phil Rothfield said the other night that, I don't know how he heard this, he said that the coaches' meeting, they agreed that they had to fix the play the ball.
Yep.
But Trent Robertson was the one who said, look, well, if we're going to go that far, we might as well fix the 10-metre rule. So he hasn't bleated about it because obviously he was party to that as well.
I don't think there's many coaches out there who are bleating about it.
But interestingly, they still need to. They're not sin binning enough on the line yet.
I agree.
I mean, we didn't win. We wouldn't have won the game because of it. But at half time, there were 5 sets on our line, on the Warriors line, and they should have been sin bin 2 sets before that.
Yeah, but in saying that, a 10-minute sin bin is really harsh.
It is.
So
you've got, you bring in a 5-minute sin bin. That's all we've got.
So, but you see, so there was that incident with Billy Slater and Luke Lewis, where looking at it as an observer, you're going, that was a mistake that Luke Lewis was sin binned, and luckily it didn't cost them. But there was an incident in the Cowboys-Panthers game. Panthers were giving away penalty after penalty after penalty. Peter Wallace was called up by the ref and said, "That's 3 penalties, you know what's going to happen next. That's 3 penalties, you know what's going to happen next." Then there was a kick downfield, and for some reason, James Tarmo was there to chase it, and he held on too long and was sin binned.
Yeah.
I didn't get it. I'm thinking, hang on. The guy on the try line, you're saying, get off him, get off him, get off him, penalty. Get off him, get off, penalty. This is 60 metres away from the try line and you're happy to do it. That didn't make any sense. That inconsistency has to change. You either do it or you don't.
Can I make a suggestion that while we're doing this, and I think it's one way to certainly help the situation, is that the refs play the advantage more. I know they do it a few times through the game, but if you've got a player holding a player down, it's obviously because one side is exposed.
Yep.
So let them get up and play it, and if they score, they score. If they don't, then pull it back for the penalty.
Absolutely.
Right. We used to have the advantage, Ryan. I know that you hear it occasionally throughout a game that the ref's playing the advantage, but we don't know what's happening.
Have you watched any Super League recently? I haven't watched a lot this season, but last season I watched a fair few games, and they seem to play advantage a lot.
Yeah.
Admittedly, they've only got one ref, but I don't know. That game seems to flow a hell of a lot better.
Yeah. Mind you, just out of left field, I heard an interesting comment today on a radio station as I was driving to work, where there was a sports show running, and there was a comment made where, imagine if you wanted to get the players on side and stop holding down, you gave a penalty, kick for goal, then you gave them another set of 6. I guarantee you do it once in a game.
Oh no, let's not.
Oh, let me tell you, that has some merit. It has some merit. You hold a player down to deliberately stop a try. The other team gets a gift 2 points because it's usually right in front. Let me tell you, it had happened once.
No, let's not do that.
And I'm happy for the penalties to continue.
Yeah, me
Tom,
too.
Tom, you haven't said anything, and you were quite.
I did. I just said something then.
But do you agree with it?
Yeah, look, I mean, I don't agree with what happened in Melbourne and Sharks. I mean, that was ridiculous. 33 penalties was just...
But if they're all offside
Yeah.
constantly...
Yeah, but...
Which they were. because they're the two teams that are
Yeah.
that are best at wrestling and holding
And maybe that was necessary, but it just
And that's the
seemed
other thing,
ridiculous.
the wrestling.
Ridiculous.
You guys have been screaming about the wrestling for years.
Oh, for
haven't
sure.
been screaming about it this year.
Yeah, I saw a crusher.
No
I saw a crusher penalised on the weekend.
Yep. There were a couple of them actually. There was one in the Cowboys Panthers game.
All right.
Yeah, I say continue on.
But I think ultimately the trend is good.
Okay. We're going to move on and we're going to start talking about next week. This will be round 5. Well, the year's getting away from us already. So in GIO Stadium on Thursday night is Canberra Raiders against Canterbury Bulldogs. Gentlemen, Raiders have a hope?
Jeez.
At home?
You wonder, are they going to turn
Cold
around?
Thursday night maybe?
I'm not picking them. I'm going with the Dogs. Mbai is back from concussion from his HIA.
Yep.
And the Raiders have dropped Blake Austin, who I still think that's an error.
He got dropped last week, didn't he?
No, he started back on the bench.
Okay.
He's gone.
Okay.
With Josh Papali, who Ricky wasn't going to drop anyone, dropped 2.
Well, Jack Whitener was in the news.
Yes.
This week, so I wonder whether that's going to cause any ripples. But if he goes, you just don't give the Raiders any hope at all.
Yeah, I'm strongly leaning towards the Dogs.
Yeah, I have to say I am too, Tom.
I want to give the Raiders a chance, honestly do. But I don't know whether it's worth my tip because I'm doing pretty rubbish, like most people though.
Tom, the viewers out there want to know, Tom. They want to know what you think.
But you know, mind that.
No, they think you're important.
They do.
All right, well, so I can say anything because if I'm like you, then I'm going to change
Oh,
mine anyway.
one tip I changed. One tip.
I'm going to go the Raiders.
Okay, cool. Southern Cross Group Stadium, Cronulla Sharks and the Sydney Roosters.
Wait,
Yes.
Tom, why do you think the Sharks can win? I'm asking you this as a
I don't want
Roosters
to pump
player.
up their
And
cards.
he
No.
wants a genuine
A
answer.
genuine answer. Why do you think the Sharks can get over the Roosters?
It's
Could
at
be here for a
home.
long time.
It's at home.
Okay.
They like to get in. They like to get in the opposition's face, and the Roosters have got a really bad record against them.
Okay.
Go on the Roosters?
I'm going to go the Roosters.
So am I. Steve?
I don't know. I'm actually going to sit on the fence with
Ooh.
this one. I honestly.
Give it to him. Or give it to me. Come on.
Oh, this is once so far this year. not twice around.
You do it 6 times a game.
I do not.
Around.
I do not.
Yeah, I'm going the Roosters.
Yeah, I mean, I probably will, but I tell you what, I don't know.
The Roosters have just got too much firepower.
And I don't believe they can be that bad again. Not 2 weeks in a row.
I hope they are.
I don't believe they can
I
be
still
that
think
bad.
they're going to win.
He calls us haters. He calls us haters.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible. I hope they are too.
See what I have to put up with? Please go on the NRL from the sidelines and tell them and tell these boys what you think of them. How unfair they are.
Well, I don't think you're unfair, Brian. Do you think I'm unfair?
No, I don't think you're unfair, Steve. I think you're delightfully balanced.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Again.
Okay, Jubilee Oval, St George Illawarra against South Sydney Rabbitohs on Friday night as well.
Dragons.
I can't go to it. I'm so upset I can't go there.
Well, you're not going to be upset, Steve. Trust me. At
You
the
will
end
be
of this
upset.
match, you will be upset, but it won't be because you weren't there.
Actually, you'd probably be glad you weren't there, I think.
No, I think South are going to win this. I honestly believe South can
The
win.
word shellacking comes to mind.
Wow, this could be anything.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
No,
Really?
I'm serious. And
Adam Reynolds back.
Yep.
Sam Burgess will win at the judiciary and be back.
yeah, Sam, I'm at the judiciary again. Don't worry, it wasn't an elbow.
It wasn't an elbow.
Forearm?
Well, he's got to hold the ball.
I've got an ugly elbow and he got a fright and he just fell over.
Yeah,
Just-
dragons for me.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Dragons.
It'll be close.
Maybe.
Okay, sorry, Barry. I am going to Rabbitohs in this one. Mount Smart Stadium on Saturday afternoon.
Oh, yes, that's a double header in. Yeah.
Yep. West Tigers against Melbourne Storm. Now, gentlemen, this was played only a few weeks ago.
You know what? And I think the Tigers have gotten better, and the Storm have got worse. I'm going the Tigers.
Yeah,
Again.
I think I'll go
they can do
Tigers.
it again.
Well, Tigers are at home.
Huh?
It's a home game.
The crowd's going to show up for Benji and cheer him on.
Yes. Yep.
No, I don't think Melbourne will play as poorly as they did last week, and I'll be backing Melbourne. Let's go to. Did you guys want to have a say in that or?
We already picked.
I've said Tigers.
Tigers.
Mount Smart Stadium again on Saturday afternoon. Warriors and North Queensland.
Wow. I really want to pick North Queensland. I
'Cause you-
really do.
Because you don't like picking the Warriors.
Well, I don't think any sane person can pick the Warriors.
Well, nobody wants the team to go unbeaten for so many weeks, you know. So,
yeah,
but I'll be tipping the Warriors. I just think they're more consistent, and like you said, they're getting Mannering back, they're getting Sean Johnson back. I think they'll be good.
wow, that's tough.
Yeah.
Steve?
I think I'm going Warriors. I think at home, I'm going Warriors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking.
Although
Warriors.
the problem is they're due for a loss.
No, not yet.
They're
Not against the
not going to
Cowboys.
keep.
Not yet.
No, I don't know.
Not yet.
Okay, let's move on to McDonald Jones Stadium on Saturday night as well. Newcastle Knights and the Broncos.
I rate the Knights a chance in this game.
So do I.
At home,
I
big
will
crowd.
be picking the Knights.
Yep.
I will be picking the Knights. I will not pick the Broncos.
I might be picking the Knights.
He's splintering again.
No,
On the 3-10.
I'm not. I'm just considering options.
Yeah, you're scared to pick against the Broncos.
So he goes, it's a Queensland team.
Oh, come on. What are you talking about? Tom?
I'm picking the Knights. Home game, second home game of the season. The Broncos are vulnerable.
Okay.
Mm.
Marley Brown Oval on Sunday afternoon, Gold Coast
Oh,
Titans.
this is
and Man-
Gladstone, isn't it? Jake Trbojevic doesn't
No
know where
idea.
that is.
No idea.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, they interviewed him and they said, he said, oh yeah, I don't know where that is, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Good on you, Jake.
Yeah.
Gold Coast Titans and Manly.
Manly.
I'm sure you are.
Look, Manly will probably win this game, but I actually think they'll be really competitive, the Titans.
I think this is actually a danger game for the Eagles.
I agree.
We've been playing terrible away from home, and we've lost Tom, we've lost Curtis Sirenen, we've lost, I don't know, Kelpie Tankanoa. That's him.
Kelpie?
Kelpie,
He's not a dog.
Kelpie, or whatever his name is. I don't know. I don't know. Part of the Eagles' problem is the salary cap and our restricted movement under that.
Yes, we all agree that Manly's problem is the salary cap.
And I don't know whether they've got
What
enough
restricted
depth.
movement? You lost $330,000. It's an average player.
Let me just tell you, that's an average. We don't have another average player.
It's an average player.
You know how desperate they are. You know that bloke that we pinched from Souths,
Which one?
Gowonski,
Gajeski.
whatever his name is.
Yeah.
I'm good with these names.
Yeah, I can tell.
No, so you took our under 21s captain and we pinched him in return. Well, you know what? He's even a chance of making the
Well,
match.
he's a good player. He should be.
Wow.
So, you're going the Eagles?
I am going the Eagles.
You're
I think
going-
it is a danger match, though.
I think I'm going Titans.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think I'm going to give the Titans a shot.
Oh, that's it. That means Manly's own for sure.
Okay, Sunday afternoon, last game at ANZ Stadium. Well, not last game at ANZ Stadium, but last game of the weekend at ANZ Stadium. Parramatta Eels against Penrith Panthers.
And this was only played, 4 weeks ago?
Yeah.
The jaw's stupid.
This is at ANZ.
Okay, we're not here to debate the draw.
We can. Penrith.
Look, Penrith ought to win this in a canter, but I'll reserve judgment till the end of the week.
You hate Penrith that much?
No, I like the Eels.
Well, it's like-
Well, and I do hate Penrith, yes. Yeah.
Sorry, Bradley.
I've never liked Penrith, Brad. You know that.
yeah. But
You
the fact that he
used to
said he
support him.
likes the Eels.
We used to support him years ago
that
when
was
Brad
before I
Fittler was
actually
playing.
got a brain, you know.
Yeah.
I just moved up from Melbourne.
Steve?
I was
Um,
young and impressionable.
I think the Penrith Panthers will win, but I don't think the Eels can continue to lose games.
Oh, yes, they can. It brings my heart joy.
He's not speaking with his head now.
No, he's not.
Come on, we're talking about a team that's
Speaking
running.
with his aggro.
Excuse me, a team that's running third
Right.
against a team that hasn't won a game.
Okay,
Seriously.
I'm going Panthers.
And as you said,
I can't
you
believe that
can't
you.
be winless or win everything forever. It's
Well,
going
no team is going to win every game, and no team is going to lose every game.
We can hope.
Teams like Warriors and St George are bound to lose somewhere along the line, like this weekend.
Yeah, but it won't be against Parramatta or the Raiders.
Might be against South.
Not against Parramatta or the Raiders.
Okay. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up the show? And since we've given everyone this great advice...
Yep. Why do you roll your eyes?
Roll your eyes like that.
Please. We don't get paid enough.
I did have another comment to make, but
okay.
I've forgotten.
All right. Well, thank you for that. Nothing else, Tom?
I'm looking forward for a better performance from the Roosters against the Sharks.
Yep.
Okay.
Go Rock Australia Radio, NRL from the Sidelines. Facebook us.
And that's the end of the show. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.